Did you know that the average amount of actual work that gets done by workers in a 9 to 5 job is only 4 hours? That means that the average employee is only doing 50% of progress in the span of 8 hours. So 4 hours of work is wasted for nothing. Many people like to complain that they don't have enough time to spend with family, exercising, and taking care of themselves. I once had this victim mindset, and you probably have it too. During my time in school, I always came up with excuses that I didn't have enough time to finish my assignments. Therefore, I can't go and exercise or spend time with others. But actually, my victimizing mindset is only used to cover the fact that I wasn't being as productive as I should be in school. I spend time doing things that have low output, getting distracted, and procrastinating. Whilst others finished their assignment in time with time to spare, I was that one student who hasn't even started. This is a story that you might be able to relate to. As soon as I start to follow this productivity guide is when I saw drastic changes to the performance in my life. Because I became productive, I am able to study for university whilst running this YouTube channel, play sports with my friends, and enjoy my hobbies. In this video, I will guide you through how to improve your productivity. I will also be discussing about how to prolong your energy levels throughout the day towards the end of the video. So stick around to the end, as it will be a game changer to your performance. So what is productivity? It is basically how much output you can produce within a given input. Being efficient in work, meaning that you waste less time or resources to produce a certain amount of result. Productivity is like the competitive edge for everything in life. Business, sports, lifestyle, you name it. You are able to achieve more progress within a smaller given amount of time, and because of that, you have an abundance of time which you can utilize. A topic that heavily relates to productivity is quite a common term, and that is entering a flow state. This is a state where you are so focused with your work, everything just works out smoothly, like how you wanted it to be. I have friends and clients who complain that they watch so many videos on how to achieve a flow state, but they just never seem to work. That is because flow state is not an easily measurable variable. You can't really tell whether you are in a flow state or not, unlike how you could easily tell that you are distracted and unmotivated. I recommend that you move away from getting into flow state as the main goal. Rather, aim to be focused and motivated with what you are doing, and subconsciously, you will naturally tap into flow state. Here is an actionable step. Whenever you're doing some deep work, close off any distractions, no music, no phone. Have only your laptop or whatever devices you work on in front of you. Take a deep breath and put full focus onto your task. If you feel yourself getting distracted, that's okay. Acknowledge it and snap back to focus. If you are someone with poor focus, I implore that you force yourself to fight the urge to procrastinate. Keep your focus as best as you can, and you will get better at it. Also believe that what you are currently doing is interesting and will benefit you. This will make achieving flow state much easier. Next thing is to plan your days in advance. Planning our day is like removing any flaws from your day. It allows you to strategically plan out what actually needs to be done and when is the best time to do it based on priority. For example, if you are still a student studying for a test, you might plan to do 2 exam papers and spend 30 minutes learning the topics that you don't understand. And with that, when it's time to revise, you know what to do rather than spending time on YouTube finding revision tactics and end up binging self-improvement content like this one. You may also want to add other goals as well, such as learning a new song on the guitar. This way you aren't wasting any moment of time. Here is how you make an effective plan. Write down your big goals. Break it down into 3 to 4 steps on how to achieve it. Write down the resources needed to get to goals and how to get them. An important aspect to a good plan is having a time limit. For example, you want to finish these 3 daily goals in 4 hours. Having a timer will help provide a good motivator for you to be more productive with your work. When I used these rules in planning my day, I was able to do a week's worth of work in 1 day. This may sound very exaggerative, but trust me. Try planning the most productive day that you can have, and you will believe me. Now, your productivity tends to drop later in the day because you start to lose your energy and feel more and more tired, which is normal. So I use this tactic called eat the frog. I would use all of my energy, when it's all fresh and plentiful in the morning, to do the hardest and most important task of the day, so that later in the day, I can spend my time doing less physically and mentally demanding things such as replying to my text or reading a book. And I feel amazing knowing that I have finished my most important duties already. However, let's say you have a lot of things going on in your life. You may have to face periods of being burdened with endless amounts of difficult tasks at hand, and eat the frog is sometimes not enough to do the trick. But don't worry because you can still sustain your energy for longer throughout the day. The tactics I will provide won't be as common as you expect. First is your diet. Most people believe that eating a lot of carbohydrates will help you have sustainable energy, which is simply not true. Eating a high-carb diet, especially in the morning, will make you feel lethargic and tired, as carbohydrates makes you feel bloated due to it triggering your body to store more water weight. Aim to push eating carbs till dinner when you don't have much important task to do. Even for dinner, I would still suggest that you lower your carb intake. Sugar and processed food, on the other hand, should be completely avoided at all cost. There is probably no further explanation needed on why it is harmful to your gut health. With an unhealthy gut, you are without a question going to have a hard time focusing. Eat more proteins and fiber in your diet as well. They improve your gut and makes you more full throughout the day. In the morning, I would push my breakfast till 10, where I only eat eggs or sometimes bananas. I've been doing this for months now and have seen great drastic change to both my physical health and my performance. Next is to put yourself in a comfortable and plain room. Sometimes, being in a messy room where so many distractions are present can drain your motivation to work. The chances of you procrastinating will be higher and your energy levels will drop. The room in which I am working on this video is very quiet, comfortable, and plain simple. Even all books I have is in a different room. All I have in this room is a table, a chair, and my laptop. Make sure that the room is also slightly cold. Working in a cold environment can boost your adrenaline levels to some extent, making you more alert. Just make sure that it's not too cold to the point that it becomes a distraction. You should also consider isolating yourself from time to time when you're doing deep work. Friends and families are a special asset to everyone. Having a social life is crucial in being a well-rounded person. And I believe some nonsense and laughter with friends and families is something you should never neglect. However, you have to choose one or another. You can't do deep work with friends in the room, as your energy will likely be diverted towards socializing with your friend. You may argue that you can just ignore them and focus on working, but that wouldn't do you any good, as your relationship with your friends may deteriorate. I once ignored all my friends when I'm doing deep work, and I started to find myself slowly being isolated from the group. So now, whenever I'm doing hard work, I do it alone in my personal space. And once I finish, I then join in with my friends, where I could spend all my energy being present with them. This next tip is quite an unfamiliar one, which is to avoid drinking water whilst you are working. If you are focusing on your work, you should not be sipping water on and off all the time. Doing that is basically breaking the flow state that you are currently in. Here is what I do, and I advise you do too. For every 30 to 45 minutes of deep work, I would drink a small glass of water and continue with working in flow state. With this method, I stay hydrated and I don't break my workflow, resulting in getting a lot of work done. Now that you have the knowledge acquired to be the most productive person you can be, I want to warn you that it is going to be an extremely difficult process. In order to build this character strength, you will need to face moments of discomfort, dealing with your brain, persuading you to procrastinate. But remember that every great thing comes with its ruthless journey. If you really want to win in life, follow these tips and see the results that you deserve. That is it from me today. With every good small action you make today, takes you one step closer to the person you want to become. You have my support. This is Weekend Wisdom, and I'll see you in the next video.